always about to Detroit.
Let me look at me.
Ready?
Ready, Dr. James? All right, Dr. Jansen, we already ready. Y'all ready? Come on, I know y'all ready to hear from some of these panelists. Come on.
Stay in the middle over here.
And we're gonna be in the action area, y'all. Make them feel comfortable.
Gregory, can you bring my laptop, please?
Y'all good, y'all comfortable? Cheers.
Oh, excuse me. Reverend Bernadine?
Yes.
You need a right.
Just, this is the camera there and there. You can walk wherever and it'll follow you, just don't stand right in front of.
Okay. Thank you. You good? All right, I think we're ready. We're gonna start with the introduction of our panelists. Come on now. Who wanna start us off? Who's feeling very talkative on today? We want you to introduce, come on, yes you are. Kyle, we want you to introduce yourself, your co-op, the role in the co-op, and anything else you think the people might need to know about you on today. Come on now, we want you to feel comfortable. You're amongst family. Come on, Lanay.
Hello, everybody.
What call?
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Loud can.
Yeah.
Use the mic, please.
Use the mic. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabby, get you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lanay Gilbert Williams. I am the president of Detroit People's Food Co-op. That's it.
What's your role? President? Okay, all right. How long you been president?
I've been president since 2022.
Okay, come on now.
I looked about when we had like 2022, right?
Sorry.
Around that time.
Right, left.
All right, my name is Jade Barker and I joined my local food co-op startup effort in 2002. I joined the board in 2005, we opened in 2008. We opened our second store in 2021. Our first year, we had 2,000 owners and $6 million annual sales. 2008. Yes. And last year, we have almost 18,000 owners and $50 million annual sales.
Where is this? Where?
In Northampton, Massachusetts, but I want to say here are the Black-led co-ops I work with are Worth Community Co-op, Harvest, which was a share co-op in Winston-Salem, and Renaissance Community Grocery in Greensboro.
Right.
Hi, everybody. I think this is my first panel ever. My name is Jalisa Robinson. I represent Gem City Market. I'm the current director of community engagement, as of a few months ago, prior to, in the deli prepared foods area. And I've been with the market for about 3 years.
Up on the stage.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna find out. I forgot to also.
No, you stand up on the stage. Yes.
I'll sit on the seat. Yeah, I have to. Okay. All right, y'all, try to be obedient. I learned that.
I'm gonna follow her.
Obedience.
So we need to be on this stage.
Sure did. And I said, sit down. Baby, is that better?
Yes.
All right. Okay, and I forgot to say who I was. I'm Reverend Bernadine Harvin with Southside Food Co-op. I'm the board chair. We've been in progress in this project since 2020. So it's a lot of hard work and we continue to build. We're about a 1B, I think, in our phase. So we still have a lot of work to do. So I'm excited to hear what you guys got to say to us on today to help us be. All right. Assata, you want to introduce?
Sure, I'm Assata, and I'm with the Third Ward People's Food Cooperative. We are currently starting our buying club. We're finishing the first phase of our feasibility study. And we are as well as launching the membership. And I just want to say one of our core organizers is here, Grace. Tamika is also here, and Gregory Cheeks with the Third Ward Community Builders, which is a cooperative construction co-op, which will be partnering with the food co-op to make sure our residents get employment and economic opportunities.
All right, we get ready to go into our second part. All right, so right now, I'm getting ready to ask, if Lanay can speak to this for us. In what ways have your co-op been successful in ensuring that this cooperative remains Black-led? Detroit People's Food Co-op have remained Black-led. And then have you thought about it? So even if you're not ensuring it, have you thought about it? Have you discussed it? Have it come up, the question ever come up before? Okay.
So we've thought about it, we've talked about it, I'm sure it was talked about for probably longer than I've been on board. But first and foremost, I think it helps to have people on the board who actually care about or have a track record of caring about and centering the Black community. That's not super hard. For me in the city of Detroit, because Detroit is predominantly Black. But definitely having a background of really centering, really caring about the city and about us matters. When it comes to the board, we've talked about succession planning a number of times. The board president before me talked to me about succession planning a number of times. That was before I became board president. I brought it up a number of times. And I think the goal is to always have somebody in the wings for your board that you know actually cares about the co-op, actually cares about Black people, centers Black people. And just champion and standing behind those candidates that go up. Probably did something interesting last year when it came to board candidates, just as a board, as a board member, standing behind certain candidates with member owners and saying, hey, this is somebody that we know, or this is somebody that I stand behind, things like that, to ensure that the spirit of the co-op is forward. I told y'all, yeah, because you would have it. Our Black Caucus is our committee, actually, it's now called the Black Caucus Working Group. So it is our group of member owners where you have to be Black to be in this working group. And this group is dedicated to not just developing Black leadership in the co-op, but also actively onboarding Black member owners to the purpose of the Black Caucus and the purpose of the co-op in general. That's a really, really big deal when you have a group of people who, when even with the board or even in the store, we have to focus on dollars and, you know, the sensibility of everything and policies and still folding values in. It's really cool to have an entire group of member owners to focus specifically on that.
When was the Black Caucus formed? When was it formed?
Before me.
You know,
Can you shout from the table, Bob?
was it formed early on just because of this?
Can
Was
I
it to make
get the
sure
mic one
about
second?
that?
I'll keep it short.
Can you give it mic?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
East family, I'm a board member also of Detroit People's Food Co-op, although I'm on leave right now.
Yeah, you.
Till November, but frankly, the Black Caucus was formed because there was a white co-op member who wanted to run for the board. And the previous board president was trying to see, how can we change the bylaws to keep that from happening? I was like, we can't do that. So you can't, you know, create some policies, white people can't, right? Lawyer, you can't do that, right? But what you can do is you can encourage Black people to mobilize themselves and organize to support the leadership that they want to be in place. So that's why the Black Caucus was formed.
Love that.
I want to bring in Jalisa now, because I think it was said, Detroit is Black. You know, it has a very strong cultural population and foundation. And I want to go to Jalisa because I've been to Dayton and I know the context is different in Dayton. And so can you speak to how has your co-op been able to maintain a focus on Black-led leadership? And where do you think there are some areas of growth?
So just to speak about Dayton in general, so if you know anything about Dayton or have been, there's a bridge, and so on the west side of the bridge is West Dayton, and that area is mostly Black, historically. And me being a Dayton native growing up, we had grocery stores, places to get food in that area when I was younger. However, over time, businesses and corporations and different people just started pulling out, and that left us in a food desert. And so with Gem City Market, the community came together to build Gem City Market up because we wanted access to food in our neighborhoods because they took it away from us. We did not have access. And so being in that neighborhood, we have, I'd say probably 90 to 95% of our staff is Black. They live in the neighborhood. Me personally, I live right across the street from the market. It's a 1 minute walk to my job every day. So I don't know if we've ever like intentionally discussed it, as a market, but I think it's just something that's unspoken and written, like we are collectively a Black-led organization. We have people who live in the community who work for us that we are serving our community. And so I think as far as growth, just kind of maybe taking that back and having discussions on what that really means to us and ways that we can continue that work.
And I'll say, I think the fact is by resourcing and sourcing from the community of focus has been how it's happened, right? So if you weren't intentional about building the gifts, skills, and talents of the people in your community, then it wouldn't have happened. And I think a good counter to that is asking, what has your experiences been, the consultant, a different focus, a different way in which a co-op comes about? And what is your experiences in Black-led leadership? And was that something of focus since I think you've had the longest tenure in this work?
I'll try to answer that. For clarity, I talked about my home co-op when I sat up here, but I've been working with co-ops nationally for about 11 years now. And I've probably worked with about 10 Black-led startups. And the 3 I brought to talk to you about today are ones that closed. And 2 of those, what I noticed was that the boards were primarily Black. But what also stood out to me was that they were primarily Black people who were middle class from outside the neighborhood where they were choosing to build a store. And I thought that was a little problematic. Each of them had one person from the neighborhood on the store, on the board. And they were very passionate, they really cared, and they wanted to give back. But I don't know that they had their mind in touch with what people in the community were really concerned about. And I don't think that they did make a special effort to be Black-led. I think their passion for improving the lifestyles of folks that they identified with was very strong, and that's what brought them together. So I think that attracted Black people to the boards, but I don't know that they thought it through, worked on it. And then the other one that I'm thinking about, what's that? Renaissance primarily Black board, and maybe they all were, actually. I didn't know Worth as well, their board, but that was what I saw, was not necessarily a conscious, we want to be Black-led spoken about, but just a clarity of, people in this neighborhood deserve to have fresh food too, and we're going to make that happen because we got skills. I don't know if does that answer your question?
I think it does. I do have a follow-up. I think, do you find there's been any liability or negative feedback you've gotten from funders, from city officials, from anybody around the composition or your identity as a Black co-op? So I wanna say, what do you feel has been any advantages or disadvantages? And I need to say this because I think we don't think about context. Like context really matters. Like I'm in the South, I'm in Texas, right? Where middle-class Black people don't lead with, I'm Black. You know what I mean? They don't believe that that's the carrying card for success, right? And so I just want to say, has it been any ways that you think that identity has been a challenge to the work you've been doing within the community or outside the community?
My own personal,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's been really challenging. Yeah, it's been very, very challenging. A lot of co-ops is, things to talk about here, their food co-ops, at least that are open currently, are primarily white. And that's not because there weren't food co-ops that were Black led back in the day, but there's been, for example, one of the things that's happened in grocery, and I'm doing a workshop on grocery industry basics at this conference, something I had no interest in when I was opening my store. So I can understand that people don't have an interest, but the competition in grocery is so fierce that the stores that were selling conventional foods, both Black led and white led, most of them, unless they were in a very small town, went up. So being Black, it's just, I mean, all of you are Black, you know what it's like. Maybe that's all I need to say.
Say more.
Okay, somebody talked about the stress of not speaking out, of not saying things, or then when you do say things, you're the angry Black woman, and just that sort of feeling like you're knocking your head against a wall. And I work, my co-op board where I served, I was the only Black person, and I brought up multiple times. It's kind of a joke in our area that we live above the tofu curtain. Cause where it's like 100% white above the curtain and it's like 60% Latino, 40% Black below the tofu curtain. And so I've talked pretty frequently about how wonderful it would be if we could build bridges across race. And I think I wasn't even counting how many times I brought it up, but I was at an executive committee meeting with the board leaders, and one of the women said, "This is the 4th time Jade has said this." And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess it is the 4th time. And it would just kind of go in one ear and out the other. So it's, I mean, any of you, I personally, and we can have conversations about this, I work in a lot of mixed race spaces. And that's something I have a passion for, people and us coming together, to support success of all of us. As well as I love being in an all Black space, because of the way I feel or see. But it's tough being out there, and you never know. That's one of the things I've had people ask me, white people. I'll tell them some incident that happened. I'll say, "Oh, do you think it was racism?" And I'll go, you know, if they called me the N-word, I would know. But other than that, it's like this. Why did that just happen? So it's stressful. I mean, as you all know, it's stressful to live in a world where how you look is not necessarily welcomed. Or if it is welcomed, it's welcomed with a really weird smile, right? Oh, it's a Black person. So, does that say enough, too much?
Here, you cannot say too much, Jess. We welcome you to be free. Right.
All right, I love that, Jade. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Are you guys getting a lot out of this conversation on today?
Yeah.
All right. Right now I'm gonna ask Lanay, because we just finished, a couple of weeks ago at Black Office, coming to Detroit People's Food Co-op. And I appreciate the culture. I appreciate what you guys brought for us to kind of envision and dream. Just walking through there, you can dream. So I'm gonna present you with this question. It says, as Octavia Butler says, shaping change. In what ways does Detroit People's Food Co-op practice creativity and innovation rather than just being reactionary or just being the norm? Because when I walked through there, I saw so many different aspects in the building. So it has to be thought out, well. Can you speak to that?
Yes, the first thing I can say is, I was not at, even near the forefront of envisioning those things, you know, I was just a member owner, not engaging for quite some time. And then decided, you know, I really, really want to engage the co-op, I really want to support the co-op that I'm a member owner of. But I can tell you in a few years before opening and after construction started, that there was a lot of talk about what the feels would be, what the smells would be, what the colors would be, what is a black, not just black, but African-centered or African-American grocery store look like. I know I've been in conversations where it was like, do we really need to heavily focus on that per se, you know? There's gonna be a lot of different people, coming in to shop, because I was one of the member owners, and as a board member and as a chair on the design committee for the inside of the store, the colors and murals, things like that. And there was that conversation back and forth, like, what exactly is gonna be on that big old mural? Um, so, the colors are pretty standard, but of course the representation matters. If you go through Detroit People's Food Co-op, you'll see, black photographs. Local photographs, you'll see, we have a large mural, and that's Dr. Jessica Nimhart. It's a Collective Courage Center mural. It's our biggest mural in the building. And then we have one of 3 women in the African market. So already that's changing. I don't think the goal was, let's be different than all of the other grocery stores in the area. More so than it was, let's be us out loud. Like, let's be Black unapologetically, let's rep who we are, you know, let's be who we be. Yeah. That kind of. There wasn't a lot of, for the most part, it really, I mean, and it might just be because Detroiters be Detroiters. We have, the majority of conversation did not revolve around, we're afraid to be Black up in here. You know, it was like, how Black do we really want to be? You know, like, and sometimes, like, this is a little offensive, you know, like, we border on that often, like, let's see how far we can push the envelope kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's important to show up and be who you are.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I love Jalisa, Gem City has a unique feel. Can you describe what it feels like to be in the market and what makes it uniquely Gem City?
I love what Lanay said about being authentically and unapologetically yourself, and I think that that is one of Gem City Market's keys. Gem City Market, when you walk in there, it's almost like, it's not, we say that we're more than a grocery store, right? Because when you walk in, it's almost like going to your favorite cousin's house, but instead you're coming home with like groceries. But we always lean more into that like community aspect of it. Like when you walk in, you're gonna get a friendly hello, we're gonna be up in your business, say what you doing, what you shopping for, like we're gonna have conversations. I give my customers nicknames, like we have this man that comes in for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I call him breakfast, lunch, and dinner man, because man, why are you always here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner like that? And he loves it. Sometimes people just come just to get that interaction, say hello, just be with us, like we have such a community in that store that we know our customers, they have no problem coming to us and being like, hey, when are you guys gonna get this back in? Can we get this? And we'll get it for them, and they'll be in next week, and they'll tell somebody, and they'll bring a friend, and just maintaining, being at work and having fun, being ourselves. Like we are known to like make TikToks with the customers in the middle of the aisle. Like we just have a really good time at work. I remember when I first got there, I used to wake up and like literally physically run to work because I would be so excited. It just felt like I was going home. And so that's one of the things that I love about Gem City the most that makes it unique. And also the music. We got the best music in the grocery store, like, you'll spend an extra 15 minutes in there just cause, like.
And I do want to emphasize, Jalisa said it was a great place to work. And I think that if it's not a great place to work, why would it be a great place to shop? Right, like that's your first group of people who are gonna contact with the customers. And so I just wanna say that you emphasize it's a great place to work. We wanna be there, so therefore that welcome environment starts with the workplace.
I wanna say about Detroit People's Food Co-op, when we went to shop as well, me and my husband. I wanna say the young people
Yes.
were so gracious. The young people were so accommodating. If you needed some help, it's like you look wandering around the store, they asked you, are you looking for something? I really love the interaction with the young people. And it was one young man behind the hot food area. He just smiled at us, when you see young people smile, I get excited now because so many of them friendly. So I really enjoyed that. They made us want to shop there, just seeing them behind the counters, ready to bring you up, when you were ready and things of that nature. So I really enjoyed that. And then I liked how you guys had all the employees on this board where you could just see all the employees back there. I really like that part. And then also you had one of those signs where if people couldn't find something on your shelf, they could put it on this board to say, hey, I want this or that. So it was just so many creative things, plus 4 commercial kitchens. I was like, this is the bomb.com. I loved it. I just love having access to things and just seeing our people being able in that banquet hall. It's awesome too.
So, speaking of something that you just said, know that we did this beautiful orientation before the store opened. And some of our staff members were present, where we did like the history of, Black history and general history of Black Detroit, what a co-op is, things like that. All the staff was not there. I don't think we've done, as much orientation and really folding our young people in the store in. However, having Black Detroiters work in the co-op, where's this space that's focused on being Black led and serving the Black community, and us not having another grocery store like that in the city, I think that matters to the staff.
Yes.
Cause we're not beating them over the head about customer service, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's important to talk about customer service, but I'm saying like, exactly, and that's a personal sense of pride. The board you're talking about with the staff members on it and member owners on that board, that was one of our deli co-team leads who did that, and she wanted to do that, So even if young people are being young people and all the different things that go on in young people land happen, that's them. You're meeting them in the store that however the store has affected them is pouring out.
So we got 15 more minutes for the panel. And then at 2:00, because I think it's really important to understand that this is a conversation that is to lead to greater thought and really ways in which to think about, is there anything you want to implement or ways you want to move this forward? And I think we do a lot of institutionalizing and a lot of scaffolding without knowing it. And so this conversation is allow us to pull back that curtain and say, these are the things that have been done. What ways can they inspire us and move us in our own work? So on your booklet is where we're going to have some small table conversations. Because I think Black Leg Day has been really good about the idea that you're not just coming here to receive, you're coming here to give, and you have something to give. And so bringing us down into small table conversations to say, have we thought about this? Are we Black led? Is that a part of our identity, right? Do we want to focus on this? What are some things that we can do? And so for this last 15 minutes, we want to talk about a challenge that I think, will be impacting Black led, Black centered food co-ops. And it's related to the new big ugly bill, as the drafters of these questions have labeled it. and the reconciliation bill, and the real cuts to SNAP and EBT. And we've worked so hard to get those, right? We worked so hard to, structurally put them as part of our revenue models. And so with that being greatly affected, how are your communities thinking about that? And what ways are you strategizing, and how do you think it's gonna impact your customer base, your member owners?
Yeah.
That's a big.
I think at Joe City, we're currently dealing with this right now. Especially with produce perks, a lot of our customers are EBT or SNAP, and they take advantage of our produce perks program. And so when that news came out, a lot of the customers didn't come and shop or just stopped shopping altogether. And then that resulted in a dip in sales because they assumed that we weren't able to carry those programs for them anymore. But what we've been kind of doing to combat that is kind of looking outside on the philanthropy side to kind of get extended funding for those programs so that when they do end, we have something in place to kind of maintain that and keep that going. And so the challenge is recommunicating that back to the customers and letting them know that, hey, we got y'all, literally come back.
Do you guys have a roundup programs or anything like that as well?
That's me, I'm working on it.
I'll just say my co-op has a low income program that you just self-identify and you get a discount on groceries. I think it's between 10 or 20%. And it cost us about $500,000 last year. And it's part of our business plan. So we plan to do it. It's like, this is a cost of doing business, is making sure that people who have less money can still get affordable food. So.
That's funny, because I was about to hand you the mic. They were like, why she looking at me? When I tell y'all at DPFC, we wrapping our head around so many things right now. I can't even say this is at the center of our conversations right now. So I don't have an adequate answer for you on that right now.
And so just in closing, just wrapping up, we have still 10 more minutes. And so I want to ask, what do you think are the essential non-negotiable resource you advise others to lean into in the process of building a co-op? It could be one book, it could be a movie, it could be a YouTube, whatever. What is something you'd say, like, this is non-negotiable?
Okay, this is
Okay,
not
we hit you like this.
We were told this before we opened. It is the truth, I think it will forever remain true. And that resources each other. You cannot speak on it enough. Every single person that you cross paths with, within your co-op space, outside of your co-op space, other human beings, and especially those who have the same type of mindset that you do about your co-op, brings a level of expertise to the table. If they are an adult, they have gained wisdom. There is something that you can learn, right? So if we're not communicating with each other, if we're not honoring each other and what we all have to uniquely bring to the table, no amount of books that you read will matter. No film that you watch, no conference that you go to. It's like, if it's 3 of y'all coming together to organize for a co-op, talk to each other, ask each other questions like, what does Black food sovereignty mean to you? Because y'all know we can have words where everybody has a different definition, you know? We just got out of a session about that, about communication and respect and disrespect and things like that. So like, okay, having those conversations with each other and then expanding on that as more people join the table, know who you're in the room with, and know that you've taken full advantage of the resource of each person's mind as much as possible. You have no idea the amount of wealth that you have in a room or at a table at any given time. And it will never be money that outweighs that, you know?
So I think that's the biggest resource, each other. But I know that I'm about to hear about some awesome books and film too. I wish I had a notebook up here, to write down.
Yeah, I just have to say ditto. Our co-ops are number one assets, our relationships. And that's what I feel in co-op land. It's our relationships with each other, our number one gift. I've worked with a lot of co-ops at this point, probably close to 100. And many of them look like they should have gone out of business multiple times. If you look at their finances on paper, and they're still around. That said, there are some that have gone out of business, and you don't like to see that. A lot of work goes into opening a co-op. So for me, I was gonna say the resource knowledge. Learn, educate yourselves, be curious about the business that you're in. Be curious about who you wanna be, who you are, how that interacts with the community. Cause you want it, does that mean other people are gonna want it? Learn, educate yourself. But I would say.
Absolutely, I definitely agree. Knowledge, each other. I would add definitely community. We would not be here today without the continued support of our community for sure. But also to tie it all together, I would say, another great resource is yourself. We talked a lot today about emotional intelligence and self-awareness, so I think, and for me too, just kind of taking that time to go on your personal journey, understand yourself and your personal passions and what motivates you in this space, I think, does nothing but help, and keep you secure in what you're trying to do, for sure.
And I want to acknowledge that those answers they probably don't sound fun. It does not sound like fun when you have to talk to people. Or when you have to get to know yourself. It's that deep dive work, or we all will come into a space and eat each other alive. With the traumas that we've all faced. It's not fun. I know it would have been easier to hear the name of a book and like, this will set you on your path. That ain't it. Y'all never be struggling as a community. It is at our house. It is on our block, right? It's in our children's school. It's in our own schools. If we're not getting it right at the crib, we are not going to get it right in the co-op, you know? So that deep dive, that hard work, that is the work. That's what it's gonna take.
All right, so, we're gonna turn it back over to my facilitator for her to close out and offer any comments that she'd like to make.
All right, I enjoyed this so much. Did you guys enjoy this? I enjoyed this so much, and why don't we can we have just a little space to just, if something else is on your heart, we're not gonna throw you a question, but anything that's on your heart that you might just wanna leave a nugget with the room, what would you say on today?
Can I make one for Detroit right quick? I'm sorry, from last year. Last year, the board was here, and I think the idea that when you're building a co-op and you do need resources from across all communities, all races. But your board member came up and once she talked about there being a group for white, members, right, where they could go. And we went back to Houston and we established that, right, because we needed, and in fact, when it was meetings, like with people, we'd send a white member who had more capacity and was less triggered, right? And we'd say like, we can't go deep. You have to go today. You know what I mean? Because he had more capacity and his nervous system wouldn't be activated by what was happening. And that was very helpful. And so I think having white people challenge white supremacy, right? And then Dean would do something, he would say, I came here because Assata told me to come here, right? He would let people know that I serve under the leadership of Black women. And this is how this goes, right? And so I think having white members to really be co-conspirators and give them that responsibility. And if Dean would go to a meeting and wouldn't check something, then I would hold Dean accountable and say, why did that happen, Dean? Like, that's your role here, right? And so I just want to thank Detroit because I think y'all modeling that was like, there is a place, but there's got to be a structural place, and they have to do their work if they're gonna stay.
That's right.
Right, and so I just wanna just say that was something very powerful I got from Detroit last year at the conference.
Yeah, I think for me, it's been I consider cooperatives, sort of the sandpaper of life, forming me into who I wanna be. Like, it's not always easy, it doesn't always feel good, and often the people we are the most triggered by are the ones we learn the most from. And so by being able to work on something that we care about together, we can heal and grow from some of those things. So when you have that tough person, not saying it's easy, but you know, that what you said earlier about working on yourself and being with yourself.
I don't think I necessarily have a nugget to give, but just thinking from the heart, this is my first time here at Up and Coming this year, and I'm just. And I'm definitely just happy to be here amongst all of you learning, and this space is awesome, so I just thank each and every one of you for the work that you're doing, and yeah, let's have a great time.
Thank you for choosing Black.
Yeah.
Let's give them a hand, y'all.
And we appreciate you guys, you know, for just putting it out there for us, and we just look forward to just continuing to grow with you guys. Thank you.
All right, now it's your turn. So please, let's open our books. Where's the teacher? All right.
Thanks, y'all. That was an amazing panel. Give it up one more time for our moderators and panelists. Yay! We're gonna keep learning together, okay? We have Leanne finding people for story time, okay? Don't forget those portraits are up. Just one more hour, y'all. It's 2:00 right now, so 3:00 is all over with. All right, but in this room right now, we're going to get together in our group. So find a table with a mic. There's only 6 of them, so we're gonna be hanging out together. Find a table with the mic. Sister, this person in the yellow is putting them down.
Can we get the, this mic? Oh, no, they need the mic.
It's gonna be those. It's gonna be audio. Yeah, it's gonna be audio. And we're gonna get in groups, y'all. We're gonna get in groups. Find somebody you ain't talk to yet. You ain't gotta be in a group with your whole co-op. Y'all know each other already. Get in groups. There's gonna be some similar questions to what y'all were sharing earlier.
Story time is when you tell, you tell you about your parents. How you got into this. Yeah. It's just the breath.
So where's your next movie? Yeah.
You don't have that, you know, you don't realize that. Before you have you got to record. Or never.
Yeah, and there are a couple others that are open.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, they open.
They're working.
I got a question.
I got a question for the panelists. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going.
Just hanging out with us. All right.
Question. I got a question, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So, all the challenges facing you're like,
I was a chef. In a black neighborhood here, public health, get everybody. No. I think she's cool. There's a whole.
Hey, everybody, I'm struggling, thinking y'all don't have the questions. Y'all already got the question. In the booklet. At the back of your Black Lab Day booklet, page 20, turn to page 20, say amen when you got it. All right now, page 20, I'm gonna put them on the screen too.
Y'all can see him on the screen, but it is time to work at your group, in your group, in your group. And this is what we wanna know. I know y'all got All right, guys, we only got about 30, 45 minutes, so I suggest us get started with introductions and then go to that last question. What support you need? Is that last question? Let me see. Period. Period. All right, y'all. Y'all can hear me. I go. Amen. I go. Amen. All right, this is the last thing we got together before we get to happy hour. You know. But it's time to really dig into the group. So I would suggest folks start with that introduction and then maybe go to that last question. That last question. And at your table, you have a microphone. And that microphone is gonna let the folks around you hear you, not me hear you. You're not gonna be talking on this big mic, but that microphone at your table is helping with accessibility. So hopefully y'all pass the mic, all right? That feels good? Everybody got it? If y'all got a question? Y'all got a question? No, we good? So with those introductions, I'll come back in 10.
Yeah, she does. In session, what's the I'm saying with your no, but okay, you're okay with first one. Yeah, all of us are here. I've got to. Yeah, thank you. We want to serve us. I thought let's do it. I would say Garden State is
And so while at this point, I think that I actually expressive, we are buying ours. And so those basically were looking to get really hard with it. And so because of that, it's here. So I think it's looking through. And so the last one, is happening. I'll be we essentially comes to campus, and I go with my name. I was the veteran. But I feel the goal from that is actually first. I think so that's now. So I think probably whatever happens before we get serving as natural, serving I think it's just, like you said, it's very challenging. So, you know, you live in college, it's like learning. And so,
So we're about to.
managing our
Right there, I would say.
very large experience. So it's just an information, right? So our office that has business. Yes. actually have those. We actually have a split list of what it is like. I'm glad that I'm treating. What happens when a lot of people say is that same. You know, and so the best we do is, we can have more than one. We got one works, you know, so that kind of goes out. So it has been a challenge to give volunteers. It's also a challenge to get members. So it's our campaign. We're trying, like, the post office, just saying, have a, we don't have to. But like I said, you're a little later. It's called 40 acres. 40 acres fresh market. Just, you literally, so like a preview, these first 2 weeks of the ground. That's like the board. I'm going to remind you, son, it's awesome to Chicago. And but I need some sort of like wellness. I need like routines, and I'm like, what's the last thing? And something like that open in Chicago, and they gave pre-planning. First of all, you tell yourself that everything on their co-op. I'm that was like starting. My face a lot, and see my see all this I said, what's it playing? It sounded like this, you know. I didn't but it started out here. But since I'm really excited, we do have a membership. And give us, you know, as we push, to get to something. Like what happened? Oh, I've been there forever, but it's only been a year. The last happened. What time do we need at the moment? You really couldn't get, it's more of this area code, and they're actually are bad, are sad. Like this is these now. I mean, you know, so this is our area, and the growth that we've seen is not worth it. It's been a genuine interest in some of the plans that are used. I definitely are like presence.
A couple announcements before. There is a Black food map. If you're not on it and you are part of the Black food system, like a grower, a co-op, a buyers club, you got a garden, get on the Black food map. Yes, yes, yes. If you don't have a phone for a QR code right now, that's okay, because we're gonna send it out. And it is also on our homepage of our website at Food Mapping Directory. Anybody can be on it if they Black. All right, so make sure y'all share with y'all people in y'all community so we can keep populating this Black food map. All right. Anything we do is worth evaluating. That is right, that is right, that is right. So this is our Black Flag Day survey. And this is how we know what else to bring to you. You know, if the food was good, if I needed eggs and shit, like I got them. You know, y'all said that last year. We got awards because that's what the survey says. So please, please, please fill out the survey. It is not that long. We try to make it quick and efficient for y'all. Definitely check that survey out. If you didn't see the flowers are in the room where the yam sack were, but I'm gonna bring them to the happy hour, y'all. We headed to the happy hour, and I'm gonna bring the flowers there so you can show people and give people their flowers while they're still here. So you can write your note. Yeah, that's it, that's it. All right, I'm gonna ask for a show of hands again. Who downloaded the yams app? Who downloaded the yams app? Okay, this morning early. All right. I'm asking in a happy hour because I hope y'all download it in the meantime. All right. Let's see what else I got. Happy hour, that's where we headed, y'all, at Dabney and Company. So when you walk out of this building onto the main street, Kalamazoo, you'll walk to the right. It's not even a full block, y'all. It's right there on the corner. Dabney and Company is black owned, it's beautiful. We had a good, I really hope y'all come and have another good time. All right. And that's gonna end at 5:30. So don't take too long now. Don't take too long coming on over there. All right. Happy hour, gonna be real short. We got drinks and food though. What else I wanted to say, if you'd like to go on the co-op tour, they're leaving from the lobby. Periodically, the first one is starting in just a few minutes. So the People's Food Co-op tour is happening. You can go to the lobby to catch the shuttle and then come on over to the happy hour when they bring you back, if that's what you want to do. But it's the same co-op. If you went on a tour last year, it is the same store. I think
Photo.
the group photo is my last thing. If you didn't take a photo in the photo booth, that's shut down. If you didn't get your story captured in the story booth, that's shut down. All right, so if you want to be the last person, go stand out the door and have that happen. But if everybody else could go ahead and rise on up and go to the lobby, because we're about to take this group picture. All right, y'all. Thank y'all, everybody. This is concluding the programs of Black Flag Day. We're gonna head on to happy hour after this group photo. I appreciate y'all, Black people, and can't wait to hang out at Dabney. So the sooner we get to the group picture, then we could go to the happy hour.
Yeah. They give you like 10 cards.
That's my middle name, by the way.
Naomi used to, I told Dr. Jazz. I was telling Dr. Jazz about it, Dr. Jazz.
Anybody picked up a tote bag with seeds? Anybody picked up a tote bag with seeds? The Yams at bag with seeds in it? Anybody picked it up? Anybody? Ask your neighbor, ask your friend. It is my bag and I want to give y'all some seeds. And it's all of my seed inventory from the last few years. So please check it out. It is a tote bag. Yams. Okay, yeah, just check your bag. It's the Yams app bag, the tote bag that everybody's got. They got Google seeds in it. All right. The picture's being taken in the lobby. Let's head to the lobby, up the escalator to the lobby. Up the escalator to the lobby.